Good morning, everybody, and to all my Jewish friends, happy Hanukkah. That is kind of what made me think about today's video. I remember growing up going to Bubbie and Zadie's house for Hanukkah dinner, and Bubbie always made these incredible sweet and sour meatballs. And I always asked her for the recipe. I mean, always. And she never gave it to me. And unfortunately, she has since passed on. But before Zadie, my grandfather, passed on, he actually gave me the recipe. And now I kind of see why she didn't want to give it to me. This has to be the easiest thing in the world. You can kind of see behind me, I've done a little bit of the prep. The meatballs I made up, I don't know, a couple of days ago, and I just used a little ice cream scoop. So they were all roughly the same size. And there's just some, well, obviously your hamburger, some parsley, some garlic, some salt, some pepper. That's about it. I didn't put breadcrumbs, I didn't put egg, none of that. Don't need it. Don't need it. These are going to be simmering in a sauce. They're going to be nice and juicy, so they don't need any help from that stuff. Now, if you want to use pre-made frozen meatballs, well, there's a normie. If you want to use pre-done frozen meatballs, go ahead. Just use a good one, or take the time, make them yourself. I always buy a big pack of hamburger, spend 20 minutes rolling them all out, put them in bags, put them in the freezer. If I want a meatball sub, if I want spaghetti and meatballs, if I want to make this, it's ready. The hardest part is done. So this is a super simple recipe, and it can be done in no time. But the longer it cooks, the better it tastes. So I normally let it cook on the stove for at least an hour, 2 hours if I can. But if I'm having company over, put some of these out for people to pick on. When it's a cold day outside, you just want that warming meal. Perfect for that big bowl of that with some bread on the side. But today I'm making it just because it's Hanukkah and I'm thinking of my Bubbie. And I'm thinking of family. So, like I said, this is all you really need. There's some meatballs, there's some peppers, some tomato soup, real hard, some vinegar and some sugar. That's it. We'll add a bit of pepper to it at the end, but that's all. Let's show you how we throw all this together, and let's get cooking. All right, so we have our cutting board there. Most of the prep is just some chopping and stuff. So you can see here I've got some peppers that I roughly chopped up. Nothing special. I cut them in half, cleaned out the seeds and stuff, and you just cut them into chunks. And if this is the hardest part of the recipe, that's fine. You can also add celery, onions. I've tossed broccoli in it every once in a while, but today I'm keeping it just like Bubbie did. Next, real hard, we have our pot. Now we just throw everything in, really. So we have our peppers. We've got our meatballs. For the amount of meatballs I'm using here, I'm adding 2 cans. They're just normal soup cans of soup. Now, my grandmother, or Bubbie, was always very specific to us that for us, it had to be Elmer tomato soup. But this is a Canadian thing. So if you're in the States and you can't get Elmer, it's all right. Just use any tomato soup, really. Just off cam here, I'm pouring 1 one half can of standard regular white vinegar. Don't use red wine vinegar. Don't use any wine vinegars or apple cider vinegars. They just don't work. I've tried them. And then we have a little less than half a cup of sugar. So the sugar gives the sweetness, the vinegar gives the sourness, and that's it. What I am going to do, though, is I'm just going to get one can of cold water, which I should have done before. And it's just going to help to make sure there's enough liquid in all of here. And believe it or not, we're done. This is going to go on the stove, medium-low heat, for at least an hour. And we're just going to stir it every once in a while. And there we go. I said it was the easiest recipe ever. The hardest part, like I say, it's just taking the time to roll out the meatballs first, to chop up the peppers or whatever veg you want to throw in here. To me, the hardest part, turn the stove on so it'll actually start cooking. For me, the hardest part is waiting. Because once this starts cooking, you can smell everything. Because those peppers are going to add some sweetness. The seasoning that I put in the meatballs is going to start coming through. That's what's going to make this the hardest part, is waiting. So we're going to let this cook up. We'll dish out a bowl. Like I said, for me, the best way of having this is just with some nice either onion rolls or challah bread. Ooh, nice thick cut. Fresh, though. And that's it. So, I think what might have been my easiest recipe ever. Let's let this cook, and we'll see you all when it's done. And, well, we are back. I let these cook for 2 hours. I could have let it go longer, but the smell was driving me nuts. I already dished out a bowl, and there we go. So you've got your nice sweet peppers there, your nice juicy meatballs. Now, when I cooked the meatballs, like I said, I used a small ice cream scoop, rolled them out, and I put them, actually, on my pizza sheet. And I baked it over a cookie tray. This way, all the extra fat and grease and all the stuff we don't need dripped away. So the meatballs are really nice and lean. But these are so hot. You can see all that steam coming off of them. So I ran to the store. I couldn't find any challah bread, but I did get my good old classic onion rolls. So you always have to start with dunking into the sauce. Plus, it gives those a chance to cool down. Right back at Bubbie's house, all ready to dig in. Now, when you make this, like I said, I used half a can of vinegar and a little less than half a cup of sugar. If you want your meatballs sweeter, add a little bit more sugar. If you like them a little bit more sour, tangy, add a splash more vinegar. Adjust the flavors to yourself. Now, I also, while this was cooking, added about a tablespoon of black pepper, just to give it that little bite. I'm going to burn myself. It's like being 14 again and everyone's all together. Because we cooked it low and slow, the peppers still actually have a little bit of crunch to it. You get the sweetness, definitely getting that little sour kick in the back. But yeah, they're so good. There's nothing more than that has to be said. Give these a try. You saw how simple they are. The hardest part is waiting for them to cook. I am going to wrap this video up just because I want to eat those. I want to get my bread dunked into that sauce. And plus, it's cold and they're really warm. It feels really good. So if you are new to the channel, you know the spiel. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell notification so you see when I come out with new videos. If you liked this video, leave me a comment down below. If you didn't like this video, leave me a comment. I want to know what you guys want to see. I want to cook things that you want to try. So leave me a comment. Let me know. Also, it shows YouTube that you guys actually like the videos I'm doing and you want to see more of them. So, until the next time, my name is Andrew. I am the 5 p.m. chef. I want to wish all of you a very happy Hanukkah and very happy holidays. You don't have to be Jewish to try this, but it helps. We'll see you all next time. Bye.